Okay, we're going to come back together. If you shared your stories, I'd like to come back together, and I'm loving the energy. Like, it's fun to talk about our good bosses, right? Like, if I had said talk about your worst boss, probably be a little different energy here. But who would like to share? And I'd love for you to tell me what business that you're in and your best leader ever story, and then some attributes that who wants to share the good news? Don't be shy.
Okay, I'll share.
Great.
So my name is Erica Marks, and I am the Director of Volunteer Services for AgeWell.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's what I currently do. But in my previous life, I was a business coach and worked with hundreds of businesses, so just so you know that. I said that my best boss was actually Church Hines. And Church Hines was the CEO at the VNA when I worked at the VNA. And the reason he was the best boss I ever worked for was, this was his philosophy: I will never have to worry about patient care or customer service if I do everything I can to take the best care possible of my staff. If I take care of my staff and give them what they need to do their jobs, they will take care of the patients. And he was absolutely right. He was very transparent in his leadership style. So fast forward, I haven't seen Church in 7 years, and he came to AgeWell to drop off some walkers last week. And that was the first time we had seen each other, and I gave him a big hug and said, "Oh, it's so great to see you." I said, "You know, Church, you're still the best boss I ever had." And he said, "I was never your boss. I was lucky enough to be the leader of a great service team, which you are."
Wow, I'd like to work for him.
Yes, he was wonderful.
So an attribute was transparent, and that he took care of his staff, like he focused on the people that work for him. He took care of your needs.
The staff input. I'm thinking about changing this. I'm thinking about doing this. How would that impact you? Never made a change of any kind without getting staff input.
So very involved.
Yeah.
Involved. Who else has a story they want to tell? Brag on a boss. Anybody?
I have two different leaders
Yeah?
that I was thinking of my pastor growing up, and then of course Dawn. Like, just the kind of people who would never be afraid to do any, like they're gonna do the work that they're asking anybody to do.
Okay.
And they'll get out there and do it themselves, and kind of showing it as much as doing it, and never trying to ask more than that they would be willing to do.
Not asking you to do something they wouldn't do themselves. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to share my best leader ever story. And I've had a lot of leaders. You know, leader development in the military is so important because you can find yourself, you know, even as an enlisted squad leader within your first year in a combat zone, leading people that come from all over the place, right? Or as a second lieutenant, platoon leader. So leader development begins right after you get your occupational code. They send you to your first duty station, your first unit. But my best leader ever I want to talk about is when I retired in 2019, I said I had that friend who said you got to write a book, but I launched my business, Empowering Gender Opportunities, because I was a diversity instructor. I did, prevention of sexual harassment trainings and everything. And I thought, I'll take that into the civilian world. So I launched my business, and then COVID hit. So standing in front of an audience and engaging with students was on hold. So my book writing coach said, let's roll up your sleeves and get this book written. The process from saying I'm going to write a book to actually getting it published in November 2023, I was 4 years, and there was some downtime. And, I had it legally reviewed, or was getting edited. I was playing with the flowers and doing puzzles, and my daughter and my son were like, wow, you got to get a job. My husband went right back to work after he retired. We were both retired, but he went right back to work full time. So anyway, I had a friend who works at Milton Vt. And she said, you should come work here. It's a great job. It's great working here, it's really close and everything. So Sarah Rochello hired me. She's been there for 30-something years, and I love working for her. And of all the leaders I have, I feel like Sarah is just my best leader ever because she's curious. Now, she has over 45 front-end cashiers working there. She's got teenagers who have their first job ever. Some of them are motivated and some of them are lazy. She has individuals with cognitive or physical challenges, and she hires and manages them. She has old retirees like me who only want to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4, you know, and when it's sunny out, I need the day off. And then she has those go-getters that want to be the store manager, or they let a little bit of a shift leader power go to their head, right? But she does it all without being frazzled. She's, you know, she might be frazzled behind the scenes, but in front of us, she never seems frazzled. And she's always curious. She's always talking to people and engaging with all of us, and kind of knows, like she'll come up to me and remember something that I said 2 months ago, you know? And so I really like that about her. I like that she'll go out and get the carts in the rain or the snow. If it's gonna keep everybody where they're most efficient, she'd go out and do that. So to me, she's like the best leader ever. And the other leader that I had in the military, I worked in human resource, and my husband was going to Kuwait in his first deployment, and my kids were middle school kids, and I had just gotten the job as the EO and diversity manager. I was pretty anxious. I guess she saw that, and she came up to me and she said, Doris, you know, if you get up in the morning and the kids aren't behaving, and you know, you get in the van and you're going down the road and you forgot the project and you got to go back and get the cupcakes or something, listen, I don't want you to worry about getting here on time. Just get here when you get here. Don't worry about it. And I had a physical response to that. Like, I was rarely ever late, but just her acknowledging that she saw my tension, and to me, that empathy, that caring about what's going on for me, putting that as a priority instead of, you got to be here at 7:30, you got to clock in at 7:30, you know. And so to me, I feel like that's one of the best leader evers. So we've been talking about these great leaders. And what I want to shift to now, when you think about your business and what in the job that you're doing, I would like us to find, you know, let's spend a little bit of time with our partner again and talk about the challenges that you have. If you could have the best business ever and it was totally efficient, what are the reasons that you don't have the best business ever? Like, what are the challenges? Now, in the National Guard where I worked in HR, and you know HR, we kind of know what's, you know, we have maintenance, we have logistics, we have the ADP or whatever, the data processing center, we have payroll, we have the schoolhouse, the aviation. So there's all these different departments. But in our world, in the HR, what a lot of the, I would say, conflicts or issues were effective communication and expectations, you know? And so employee relations had a lot of, labor relations had a lot of employees coming, you know, kind of saying, hey, I was never told that I had to do that, now I'm getting this bad performance appraisal, or vice versa. Like, I keep giving them counseling statements, or I'm giving her counseling statements, and they're not performing, they're not getting the job done. So I would love you to spend, again, let's just take 5 minutes, I'll keep track this time, and exchange those stories. What are the challenges within your business arena? And then we'll come back and talk about those. Okay?